Hi. Ah, only took you 3 weeks to join us again. What's going on? The good news is I don't think Davey streamed for an entire 3 weeks, so you didn't miss anything. What's up? My name is Lowell. I'm working on Stormborne today. I was in the middle of tweaking my mapcrap AI, but fleshing it out. All that's left for this actually is just the main town thread, which I might make it pivot around depending on early game action, but we'll see. For now, I'll close my map. Crap. Alright, so it's going to be the first time in quite a while that I've looked at this this map's AI, so let's see what the damage is. That's for I think that's for the money cheat or something. Fixed that at least. When you start immediately tweaking stuff as soon as you open the project up, you know something's gone horribly wrong. I have no idea what exactly needs to be done for the general update here, but we're going to be doing something. That song had a bunch of random pops in it. I don't know what was going on there, but it was giving me a headache. So, see ya. Oh yes, a very exciting thing I get to do is completely delete guards. It's pretty epic. This is a classic TISM workaround. Forgot about that. It didn't even do anything anyway. At the end of the day, they still took each other's expansion. Was I still using this system anywhere? I was. Yikes. That is also bad. How do I even want to patch that system out? Because we don't want this at all. Wait, what is the larva? Oh, that's so that they can take up to 2 expansions at a time. That's a little different. out. I was having so many issues with the AI consistently expanding that I thought that the way around it was to do stuff like this. Really what I should be doing is just timing out how much money they have in the early game and updating their town thread as you would expect it to need to be, anyway. I think this is supposed to be exactly weight. Yeah, there's no way that's supposed to be like that. Okay. So this jumps to a blank. Without the weight, it jumps to just an empty block and kills the town. If there's no fleet peak. Well, it doesn't kill it, but it stops it from progressing. If there's no fleet beacon. But then it requests a fleet beacon if there is a 0. Or if there's at least one fleet beacon, it requests a fleet beacon. That's why, I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, down here it's properly set up too. Hilarious. What's up, Connor? So, while the allied AIs are not exactly lacking in this map, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to add fast menus back to this exe. Actually, really, before I do any of this, I should take this whole Stormborne folder. Well, I guess I could just take Nemesis and put it in here. Oh. I don't know why this is even in the Nemesis folder, just because I called it Nemesis. There we go. Alright, I've got to fix some stuff at that point. Oh, thanks. That's not what I wanted you to check at all. Well, I guess I wasn't actually using the anything in the Nemesis folder anyway, so that's fine. I thought I had to change the folder definition for it. Okay, so here's another thing I can fix there. All right, and close that for now. Yeah, working on some Stormborne today, man. I was I'm always like forever impressed how much I end up learning, like how much shit I just come in and change immediately when it comes to stuff like this. Oh, AI debug plugin's not in either. I think I had wasn't there a new AI debug plugin I needed to use? I'm pretty sure there was, but until I get that from my career, because I don't know where I left it. We'll just keep it rolling. Actually, it might be in the Hydra folder. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Oh, I am the man. Is player 8 still a human? I don't think so. Yeah. There we go. Just have to run a multiplayer. Oh. Never mind. Destroyed. What could possibly crash immediately on entry? Do I even want to know? Oh, that might be one of those rare crashes that happened when we were in startup. It was like an oddball crash. I feel like that was something that happened. There was something that was going on there, and I don't remember if it was a crash or a freeze, but it was something that where you would start out, you'd like you'd join the map or something halfway through, and it's just a disaster. Move sprite. Oh, that's not at all what I thought it would be. That's like something completely different. That's yeah, well, for one, it doesn't happen every time, but that's like a crash related to the, what's it called? That's a crash related to how the extended or the sprite extender plugin works. There's something that needs to be fixed for that. So here they actually do get a fair bit of money. Like they float a fair bit of money before they throw down their forge. And then they throw down a second or a third pylon, I guess. Gateway animation still looks great to this day. I definitely feel like they're taking their sweet fucking time working on the money. Well, no, I'm spectating, but you know. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Like weight 120, resources 13 at least, weight 50 or blank. That way I think they'll at least speed up their initial resources. Resource spending, that is. So if we just do this change alone, I feel like we'll have some benefits. Let's close this. Oh. I'm still using Todborne's definitions. Ha, ha, ha. Ha. Ha, ha. Oh. Wait, really? Forgot that that was done in a stupid way. Oh yeah. Just completely remove these. So I have a backup uploaded anyway. Somewhere. Oh, okay. They're supposed to open up with the assimilator, but that's okay. Oh, did I default min 1 them or no? Yeah, I did. Nice. I feel like default min 1 was one of those things that I could have enabled at any point, and it would have severely reduced the overhead of writing a fucking guard thread. Like, sure, you can still write guard threads. Maybe you retain some things, like... Basically, I would request guards at high priority of units that are not going to be trained under normal circumstances. So we would have, for example, siege tanks in very specific locations, obviously. Like, that's a niche thing where not only is a unit that you're not going to train a huge number of as an AI, unless you're attacking with them as opposed to defending with them. But you're also trying to... like, use this opportunity to... They have the second gateway request. They're just taking their fucking time on it for some reason. You use this opportunity to tell them to not only train this unit that they don't train a huge number of, but also to work on training a unit and putting it at a very specific location, which is useful for a variety of reasons. Why do they need 1,000 minerals? What could possibly... cause them to need 1,000 minerals? What requests do they have? What has happened here? That's probably priorities. Forgot to adjust those. Like, they're getting upgrades and stuff, but they're not building any workers, which is pretty funny. So for this, I'll compare to my Hydra AI. Wow, I actually reduced them super fucking heavily. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. I think we'll use... different set up here. So what I think is also happening is there's like a variety of requests that they're just not satisfying, again, based on priority, but they probably have too many fucking requests, if I had to guess. There's no reason they should be requesting 1,000 minerals worth of stuff at the first couple frames of the game. I disabled the guards, so it must be upgrades, I guess? I'm not sure. But even that doesn't make any sense. They're not trying to expand yet. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're overloaded trying to defend their main or something. Like with the Faultman one, they might be requesting units at a higher priority than they're requesting their structures or something. I'm not really sure. Like, they got the third request because they had at least 100 ore, so... Then they got the second gateway request. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I was hoping to hit the ground running with this and not have any issues, but you know. I also forgot how I coded this AI, so. Expected. So let's try with that town thread instead. Oh, I might as well go and fix the upgrades as well. Bonk. All right. Give it another go real quick. Oops, wrong one. I should move that to another folder or something. So let's see what happens with rebalanced priorities. sort through that shit later. Mostly want to keep track of whether or not they build their requested pylons and whatnot. Like, they have the 3rd pylon request right now. But looks like they don't have the money yet, which is fine. At least they have their request. I just got a 2nd gateway request. Looks like they're going to wait for their upgrade, though. Or they're just going to build nothing. Yeah, again, now they're just sitting here doing nothing. Oh, spend 150 on Dragoon range. Yeah, that's peculiar. Now, I wonder if the change is related to default min 1. If I turn that off and then activate it in the main town thread, down here somewhere, maybe that'll help. I'm also wondering why the main is just oscillating between 18 and 28. Oh, did I even have this? I don't know. I don't think so. It was jumping between a few different things, so I'm not really sure what was going on there, but... I don't know if a hull rewrite is necessary. I'm still figuring that out, I guess. I didn't think it was going to be necessary. But I am going to be retooling the early game for all of the AI, as well as adding some other stuff here and there. Okay, so with default mins set to 0, they are much quicker on the initial forge and assimilator. It might just be that they get so many requests for units and that they place those at a higher priority. I'm not really sure why that would be, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Still waiting on that 3rd pylon. This is another thing, is that the AI is no longer... The AI spending its money while under attack is no longer working. And they still take units away from attack groups for the sake of defense. So an AI like this gets disproportionately negatively impacted by that, because obviously they're in the middle of being, hit by troop movements and stuff. So of course they're going to sort of be staggered a bit more. What am I witnessing? Bye. Starcraft does not spawn a death animation for that. So again, even with default set to 0, that clearly was not the issue. It seems to have improved their immediate response time, but other than that, it doesn't seem to have actually done anything. I'm not sure why they need this much money. Like, they have a request for this much money, but there's no reason for them to do that. I can get rid of the shuttle and observer requests, I guess. Maybe those are having something to do with it. I didn't know this until iCore mentioned it, but if you call transports off, that turns off the observer request. So we'll say transports off, and then where is the robotics facility? Check transports. So we'll try that. But there's no way that alone is what's causing it, right? So they have other stuff active in the early game. Their attack threat is not active until they build at least 3 photon cannons, so Like, we know that we would have to see that in order for their attack threat to even be considered. So that's not happening yet. So we know that that's not contributing towards their setup. Defenses, I can see requesting some units, but they just discard the ones that they can't satisfy immediately. Upgrades are probably at too high a priority. That much I will say. But that wouldn't cause this behavior. So all the expansion code doesn't get called until later. Layouts, yeah, none of that. None of these towns get called. None of this code gets called until later. None of the attack code gets called until later. So something more domestic is influencing them to give them 1 billion requests. And I'm not really sure what it would be. So I still have to overhaul the attack threads, but those aren't even in action right now. So those... See, it has Train Zealot, Guard Hierophant. I'm not sure why the guard request is there, but it looks like it's not here anyway. Yeah, Train Zealot X8. Why do they have 8 Zealot requests, even at a low level? They have 9, I guess. Or 10. As well as they want to get Singularity Charge. I would say I should also go into... Singular... Oh, Dragoon. I would also say, like, No Towns Jump, Assimilator. Just add that little thing there, because they shouldn't be having that request until later anyway. My other confusion about this whole fucking thing, of course, is trying to figure out, like, at least they're building up... They've built up to 9 workers now. Okay, they're building workers now. That was another thing that they were not doing before. And, I don't know what the fuck happened to their Dragoon. He ran off and spun around, I guess. But, okay, so since they are building workers now, I assume that means... And they have their pylon. So we fixed it. I guess it was the, it was a variety of things, including the guard requests from default min and the transports off thing. Fixed the other stuff. So, we'll see. They do have their second gateway request. We're hoping that they, complete that sooner rather than later. Or, fulfill that. Start to fulfill that. Still nothing yet. Now they don't have enough money for it, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, they're still iffy on their base management. They definitely should just snap to that and immediately start working on it, I think. So I can't tell if this is because of the constant threat level being high for them, so they consistently think like, oh yeah, I gotta do this or I gotta do that. Their needs are much more reasonable now, although still pretty fucking high, but more reasonable than they were. Okay, then now they throw down the gateway. Maybe they were waiting to start working on something with the forger. I'm not really sure. I'm wondering what could have stopped them from just doing it when they had the money. Because I would like them to just snap to it immediately. Like, that's what I would prefer happens. Right? Like, you see these fairly large armies moving out. I mean, it's like probably about 10 supply here from Raynor. He's got a pretty decent stack. It's going to run into death and make a zealot spin forever. But... oh, that is a zealot too, not even a hierophant. They kill the Guardian, which is somewhat impactful. Bye. They really should retreat medics, man. What the fuck? I don't understand why Blizzard shipped an AI that runs medics into death. Just retreat them if there's nothing else. If there's nothing but weaponless units in the attack force, the active attack force, they really should just fuck off. Like, why would they even bother? But yeah, despite the fact that you see like large army or large-ish armies, right, like 10 supply, 15 supply here and there, large early game squads moving out, I actually think it would be better if we were able to, you know, stabilize the early game, even if it would reduce the number of units that are moving out in the early stages of the game. I think it would be better, and you would see some. You would just see more stability in general. For all, if all of the AIs behaved more like what I've done so far with Phoenix. Now the only question at this point is like, you know, does this actually improve his stability? Does this make him more stable? I'm not sure. So he did just throw down his third photon cannon, and that means, I assume, that he will soon expand and begin his attack management. I'm okay with him being slow to attack because of the whole point of this player is that, like, they are trying to get their bearings and they're surrounded and they're pressured early, you know? So to me, that makes sense. Now, again, we might have to tweak his timings and stuff based on the other AIs. It's going to be a continuously evolving puzzle to solve. Because what we're going to have to do is say, like, all right, we've got, you know, he was fine before I stabilized the other AI, but all of a sudden, you know. Teamwork. All of a sudden, you know, the other AIs are now more consistent, and he's got to get his timing adjusted as a result. He is throwing a bunch of money into attacks now with his 3 gateways, but we'll have to wait and see what happens here. He should have also... Yeah, now he's expanding. What should have happened there is he should have actually expanded first, but I think what happened is the AI realized, hey, I've got 390 minerals, so now I can move through my main town threat because there's a block here that waits. And then immediately, like, very soon after that, we call default min 1, which makes him request more men, and we call... the scale, the attack thread. So he started to manage his attack as well. That means, obviously, he's going to dump a bunch of money into units as opposed to his expansion. But he still expanded pretty quickly after that, so I'm glad about that. He definitely seems like he's doing some stuff now. And I should also mention that Stormborne in general probably received some benefit from just purely from the ability to receive the updates from some recent A's patches. So you might see, like, that's one of the things I was taken aback by, is like how aggressive Rainer's being in the early game is because some shit actually did get fixed with the overall setup. So see what happens. He's caught with his pants down. He doesn't have many units, and he's getting kissed by 2 Zerg. Not 2 Zor, 2 Zerg. Difference. That's a shit fucking Forge loss if he ends up losing that. Yeah, and he does. That's actually a pretty big stack of Hydras. He might end up falling over here. This is where his allies should be helping him, but they're spinning. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. They're deflecting attacks on their own turf, I suppose. Overmind's just annihilating fucking Zerg. Renegades. Ah, Necron. Nice of you to join us. Head High asks, is it possible to make medics retreat? Yes, it is possible. Nothing with what we have right now, but it is feasible. Like, we've already discussed an idea to make AI more stable, and to make it so that we don't have to give them as much of income multiplier, because right now they get 150% of the return. So if they're returning 8 minerals, they get 12 per return instead of 8. And so that's obviously a big cheat, and it involves a pretty hefty amount of money. I would like to reduce that to as close to no multiplier at all as possible, right? So reduce it to like 1 if possible. The problem is we have to get to the point where we can actually, like, the AI can actually make use of its army at a reasonable rate. And one of the biggest issues with AI is the way that they handle troop movements, and that even if a battle is like you could realistically speaking program some sort of threat recognition and say, my force is not strong enough to beat this guy. We got to figure something out here. We got to pull back and regroup. It would be possible to tell the AI to do that, but they don't do that. That means that it's like very easy for them to just suicide, say for example, medics all over the place, right? So that's an example of something that could be fixed and should be fixed. And once we do it, it'll make the AI more fair and also more tactically sound, I think. So that is something that we plan on investigating, as UED Commander likes to make fun of me for saying. Destroyed. All right, so far this was a much more successful test. I think I'll try to do the same sort of thing that we did here with the other stuff. And there was one other thing that I wanted to do, and I think it was related to this timing. But, so I guess what I'll do is I'll just do an extra weight. I'm not sure if that'll actually help or not. But, where does their second forge... Okay, they actually do get forge and photon cannon requests. What probably happened is they had enough money for the forge, and since it's a higher priority than the cannons, they did that instead. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do delay the second forge a little bit, just so that they have enough time to get the cannons at least warping in by that point. I also think that robotics facility is probably not placed correctly, which means that they lost a pylon or something. I'll have to wait and see about how to fix that. But yeah. I'm happy about how this is shaping up. For sure, the AI should have more units. I'm not quite sure where their money is going, or where they're spending their money. Like where Phoenix specifically, this player that I'm looking at right now, is spending his money. I know he had a small attack force running out there, but destroyed. He's still got decent upgrades, I guess. He did lose a forge in the middle of some upgrades, so we know that there was something that was lost. But things seem okay. You know, he's throwing down defenses. He's trying to stabilize. I think he'll make it. Now I just have to do the same thing that I did here to all the other AIs. And first I'll do it to the other allies, Tassadar and Raynor. And if we see some significant improvement in their performance, that would be ideal. That would be the ideal thing that we would take from this. So let's pop out of there and find those other AIs. Of course, I have to adjust priorities at the expansions of all of the AIs as well, which is something I have not done yet. Uh-huh. Scanning. I don't actually know if the pylon priority matters that much because they're going to automatically request them anyway, but... everything else seems to be positively affected. So... really goes to show you just how far we are from like how unstable the AI is, I guess. Like, it's very volatile. Small priority changes can mean a world of difference, and that may not immediately make any sense. In fact, I would say usually it doesn't make any sense. This is what we got. I did so many, like, asinine systems trying to fix them from, like, stop them from expanding into their own bases twice and stuff. It's just... I did, like, 2 or 3 different things to try to solve that problem. Even though at the end of the day, it's just some bug in the expansion code. Like, the AI code that I can't interact with through the AI script. I have to go into a plugin to fix that. Which, currently, I'm not competent enough to do, but that's a goal. That's something I will be tackling in the future. All right. Wondering why there's a random Reaver request in the middle of this script that doesn't build Reavers. Strange. Maybe I was like, yeah, it's fine. Give him a Reaver. What the hell? What's wrong with it? I should also take a look at the expansion code over here and fix it for them. I know this isn't the most titillating thing ever, but you know. We'll go back to testing soon, which will be slightly more titillating. I could mass replace this stuff, but I'm worried it's going to have some adverse effects on other parts of the script. And I would have no fucking idea that it even happened, of course, which is the problem with that. Only risk I run here is I don't catch every single one. And I guess there's also a risk that I fall asleep, but you know. That just happens sometimes. Oh, I also have to call transports or check transports after the robotics facility is done. Why would I wait for a support bay SMH? Oh, here's another scary thought that I just had. Sometimes I use the probe unit ID as a death. Oh. Well, I also use it here, too, I guess. That's easy enough to mass replace, but... Okay. So you just do this, and you replace it with that. Oh, I didn't do it that time because I just copied it over. Nice. Anyway, now that I'm done destroying myself by accident. So that's done. Okay. Bunker priority is probably fine. I would say missile turret priority is a bit high, maybe. 272. Across the board. This is another thing I experimented with back in the day when I was developing this map, was having descending priorities so that the earlier buildings would be higher priority than the later ones. Which in theory makes sense, but in practice doesn't pan out the way that you think it would. So that was a no-go. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Pretty epic. Looks like I need some more music, man. Pranked. Oh, I have to do something else here that I forgot about. I should probably get rid of most of these guard requests in the expansions as well. I think everything besides the siege tanks. I didn't even think about that for the other AI. Because there's no need for those, generally speaking. Let's get rid of those. It's already bunker requests anyway, that should be enough. Well, that was a complicated one. Like, the thing is, they're going to request units here anyway for the purpose of preserving their town regions. That's something that's automatic when you do default min 1. So I have no real interest in requesting guards here. Beyond siege tanks and other units that need to be requested specifically for some reason or another. But that's not most of them. Like, I'll leave the science vessel request as well. That seems fine. Less requests you saddle the AI with, less likely you are to crash, corrupt the towns, and also less likely you are to have an AI that does nothing, basically. Okay. So. Oops. With that established, I also have to lower the priority of upgrades here. Oh yeah, I think it was like... Was it 76 for Phoenix? I don't think I even did it for Tassadar, so... 78. That was so it's a little bit higher than factory requests. But maybe it would make sense to be at even or less. That'll be an experiment, I suppose. Maybe I'll do that for Tacit Army. I can compare, but it's hard to compare timings when you have completely different timings or tendencies when you have completely different AI that you have to keep track of at the same time. Okay. Well, this guy I think is fine in that case. Oh. We got rid of this. Main worker. We got rid of that. What's up, Patrick? How are you? Excellent. Now, let me just do the upgrades here. Pranked. Not AI, huh? I love working on AI, to be honest. Sometimes it can be frustrating when it doesn't work at all, obviously, but... especially when we don't have that many debug tools at our disposal. But I'm a fan. Alright, let's take a look. I didn't really touch their early game, so they may float some money, which we can use to our advantage. That information, that is. What's up, Iquare? What's up, you? ED? Oh, cool. So you did most of the programming for it already, then. Yeah, you might have to start working on your map soon. But it's only a it's only the 5th. I mean, you still got out of 29 days, 24 days left. So So we've done our overhaul of the allied AIs. We'll see if they're faring any better before we move on to some of the other ones. I've lost 5 HP. Somebody fix me. He's spinning. He's scouting, actually. I don't know what he's doing. He is spinning, so it would seem. Spin. I like the idea that Ahmed's like blocking him or something. She just wants to be repaired, man. What a depressing state. Yeah, working on Stormborne today, seeing how the AI is going. Kind of being a little lazy on this spectating run. I don't think I ever did check transports for Raynor. So I'll have to do that. Help if I'm in the right script, of course. There was some other stuff that I wanted to try and do at some point, but I don't really remember what it was. That's prank. Whoa. I guess I wanted to look at Alderis. I don't know. It's a little odd. Not quite sure what was going on there. It might be that much. It might be a little less. I don't know. Depends on what the final setup is going to be like. They're not going to have an energy upgrade. They're going to remain at 200, so... At least so far is what I'm thinking. Maybe there will be an energy upgrade just to be consistent with all the other units, but I'm not sure if it really makes sense. Well, his first attack is underway quickly, scouting out some opponents. I like that he's got this Dark Templar just running around. Oh, you know what the other thing was? It was calling default min 1 after a certain point. That was the other thing. There we go. Perhaps an early defeat in order for the Renegades. I always say that, and they always come back, so... Even though things look dour now, they're gonna clean up, I think. If only they used drones defensively. Oh, never mind, they've got 2 Guardians. Well, where's the Scourge at? Any Scourge? Any Scourge here? They probably all got shot down. Meanwhile, CAG destroyed them over here. Oh yeah, there's a Mutalisk. That works. Oh yeah, they're fine. They're fine! Everything's fine. No problems. Utter chaos. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I don't think I'm using that in the Hydra mod. Hey, you're supposed to build that over here, dumbass. This blocked you in. It's almost like I need base layout for add-ons. But so far, so good, I guess. This guy is supposed to expand a while ago. Looks like he's setting out to do that now. He is embarking on a journey filled with expansions. Hi. The slowest death any sunken colony has ever suffered. Meanwhile, a Marine could speed things up, but doesn't. Oh, never mind. Medic's out of mana. Hey, attack this one. Just run past that one. Dude, imagine the world where you lose a defense to 1 unit. Medic could have healed the Zealot, too. Could have really spiced things up there. Now she's just scouting. Bye. Warp relay. Should it have requirements? I guess a support bay. I was also kind of thinking of making it require a Stargate or something, but I feel like that might be a little too gimmicky. I mean, I don't have any significant complaints so far about the AI, but I guess like a complaint so far that I'm seeing is that oh, okay. Why? Why? He didn't like that location, man. Send me location. Anyway, what I was going to say was their attack forces are pretty fucking weak now. Not that they were getting the job done before anyway, but I think maybe we can improve that somehow. Annihilation. Oh fuck. It's a team, dude. Team of men. Where'd the other guy go? Oh, he's duking it out with himself over there. Here we go. Very late expansion. And another one down here. Raynor also seemingly not very interested. Oh, here we go. It's working. It's happening, boys. They're expanding. Zerg here. Imagine getting attacked by the Overmind and it's just a couple Zerglings. Hi. Good thing we've got Ahmeds. Yeah, just that supply depot in particular is fine. Pretty epic that we have our very own model here, created for Hydra. Always nice to have that in our back pocket. Broodlings. Hi. Teamwork. Oh, Ahmed squad, dude, you better watch the fuck out. When 4 firebats just roll in and start kissing you. Where'd the other one go? Ran away? I think there was 4. Hydra. Yeah, so we need to figure out the attacks. I think maybe the... it just doesn't make any sense to have them try to expand and attack at the same time, which is what the original script tried to do. What happened before, because of the priority fuck-up, was they would just wait forever to expand anyway. So now we're getting them to expand consistently, at consistent times. And that feels better, obviously. But it comes at the cost of them having any early game presence beyond like a couple of units here and there. So I think what we can do to fix that up in some way is... maybe delay their attacks a little bit. Hi. Just passing through, I guess? Dude, what is happening? But yeah, we can figure that out based on that, and that can be its own degree of... troubleshooting. Dragoon shooting. Hi. Zerg here. Things are going well. Oh, pranked. Once again, Zerg fails miserably to build any workers and accomplish anything at all. They simply seem incapable. Hopefully we can fix that. Why are Zerg in particular such bitches, man? They just suck. Bye. Dude, holy bye. Oh, hi. Error. Hello? I'm not sure what the damage value will be. I would say just go with whatever you think is sensible, and I'll modify it if I feel like I need to. Hi. Expansion here. Yeah, so they're floating a fair bit of money now. That'll obviously get mitigated to some degree later on, but they're also not really building stuff. So this is a similar issue that the Zerg actually had. at all stages of their development, where they don't really build that much. But I don't know. Like Raynor seems okay. Like he's just starting out with his bases. You've been destroyed, I'm afraid. Phoenix seems like he's doing stuff, right? Like he's building junk at his natural, but there's nothing happening over here. Presumably because they don't build any workers, right? Now I wonder if maybe, I think there's some expand, like EXP worker or something. Isn't there something like that? Yeah. So we'll try to migrate this over, I guess. Because that, it seems like it's just a symptom of the same thing. And maybe that'll help with the expansion workers. Yeah, that was what I think is safe to call dumb as fuck. So we'll try with this. But at some point I do have to overhaul the attack system to be using the same method that we have right now. Alright. Now before I do run off and do this more, I'm going to use the bathroom, so BRB. And yeah, when we get back we'll be doing more testing. We're back. What's up, Zomano? All right, see how it goes here. See what we get done. Now I just realized they start with 100 gas, so why wouldn't they order that upgrade? Oh, now they do. I guess that's fine. It's not that big of a difference, but you'd think you would do it as soon as possible. I'm just wondering why I set a delay initially in the script. Oh yeah, you were asking me about my corpse delays. I think I'm doing like 255 4 times or something. I think it's like wait 255 twice in between each frame set. So maybe that will help you. Bullied. Aha. So once they throw down their cybernetics core, we should be seeing an expansion attempt. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it counts to the same number of frames. But I have not aggressively tested that myself. I guess we would need a print command in iScript that would wait a whole minute and then print, and then in the AI script as well, or just an elapsed timer or something in the triggers. Some other way to detect that, right? Oh, I got their cannon up in time to absorb this attack, which is pretty good. Always a fan of that. Now they just need to expand successfully and we'll be in business. Who knows how long that will take. In this case, they're building extra pylons for the purpose of covering their asses. Fuck them up, you pranksters. I should probably reduce the frequency with which that animation plays in general. All right. Can they pull themselves together and get 400 fucking resources? They're almost there. Of course, they just spend it immediately on other shit. Why wouldn't they? In fact, what the fuck? Why did they start preparing an attack? There's a wait here. It's right here in the fucking script. Wait 240 before you fucking request the scale here. Start requesting attacks. So how is it even possible that they just skip over that? It's some tism, man. Not quite sure how that makes sense. Would like to be educated. Oh, that first attack is pretty big, at least. As a result of waiting up a little bit more. Oh, almost. You almost sent a worker over there. Ah, you almost had it. Oh, maybe they actually do have it now. It's hard to figure that one out. Oh. No comment. Guess I'll have to move that one. Destroyed. Yeah, that first attack actually did some damage. Not a significant amount of damage as I would have expected maybe, but I got some shit done. So here they actually do have the extra pylon request, right? But will they actually satisfy it? Probably not. We'll wait and see. Hi. We like this pylon? It is ours now. Do they even have any units? They have a Dark Templar. Nah, who needs them? We didn't need that pylon anyway. What the fuck? Why? Pranked. Anyway, what I like to see is that their needs are kept relatively in check. They keep trying to train a bunch of units and then they discard them for some reason, but that's okay. Now, I would like to see actual workers being trained here. So, let's see what happens there. Consistent timing out of Raynor, it looks like. Would be nice to speed him up as well. Oh, okay. Bye. Don't worry, he's got an expansion. He'll be fine. It looks like he sent a horde of dragoons. Like 6 dragoons over there. Oh, maybe they'll help each other. He can still live. Huh. Just kidding. Alright, we are seeing actual worker counts at the expansion, which is good. We're not seeing any worker counts for Phoenix. I'm not really sure what's up with that. It's as if somebody killed them all. It's a little strange. Aha! It has begun. The proxying has commenced. Yeah, I think Phoenix is out of here, dude. See ya. Allies were no help at all. Random Scourge here. I don't know what the fuck that's about. I like it. Something's going on. Holy fucking renegades, by the way. Fuck that bunker in particular, man. Where'd the others go? Oh. They were just incidental, it looks like. I should probably reinstate the guard. Well, actually, do they still not have any fucking... Oh, they didn't build their armor yet. Yeah, I probably have to overhaul their town threat a little bit. I'm thinking... Might make some sense. Meanwhile... Meme-while... So the problem is they have these big armies, right? And they very rarely actually make it to the destination. Oh, fuck. Plague, by the way. I'm not even... Well, this one might. This one might just destroy good old Tassadar. Which is odd, because again, he has structures. He's not placing them correctly exactly, but he has income as well. Oh, he doesn't have the income cheat, I just noticed. Yeah, no fucking wonder there's a problem here. This is probably running off of an old compilation of the plugin, which does not have the money. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm assuming none of the players have that anymore. Hi. Looks like the allegiances have changed. Hi. Oh. Maybe over. Yeah, it animates across the cycling pixels. This program is so non-performant, man. Holy moly. Yeah, I have a feeling that maybe the lack of money cheat destroyed the AI. So let's fix that. So yeah, what you'll have to do is, rather than using the tile sets cycling animation, you're going to need to emulate it manually. You can't use the same thing that they use. So you almost have to take like screenshots of the water on cliffs or something to use them as an example. Oops. And then like you need like a per frame sort of thing. So I would take editor screenshots. Maybe DF knows a better way to do that, but... They won't start cycling, I don't think. If you index it with Game Basic, they won't start cycling. You can index it with the non-cycle jungle palette. But I don't know if they even exist in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I said, look at Watercraft. Maybe they had something in there. I'm not sure. Or is it Aquacraft or something? Oh, maybe I just don't have them. I thought I had it somewhere. Maybe it's in my mods. The fuck? No, it's just called Water SC. So it looks like they just drew their own waves in a different way. They emulated it somehow. But as you can see, like, this is what I mean. So they have the training animation should be an overlay, or a second, like the upper part should be an overlay. So that you don't have this problem where it stops animating water-wise. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what they did, but... it's just Ripcord this time. Unless Discord is also having a fit. Psychotic. Yeah, it looks like they just did their own shit. Obviously, it looks like it looks terrible, but well, there is an animation there, but yeah. Why would you be limited in that regard regardless? The only limit is the number of image entries. And I guess iScripts. But unlikely to hit either of them. So what's going on anyway, DF? You actually? right. So that should work out. Alright, so we should be seeing them behave a bit more competently now that they have actual money. Funny that I still noticed performance improvements despite the fact that the money cheat was disabled. For this player at least. Yeah, they already have a large number of units. Pretty epic. Why do they have 2 frozen workers? Unfortunately, I understand why they have 1, but they don't have another town requested, so I'm not really sure what's up with that. Yeah, that one is just stuck here for some reason. Ay, ay, ay. Just save some money, you fuck. Off he goes. Hi. I'm not quite sure how they sidestepped one sunken to kill the other, but okay. You got it, man. Fast +1 helped them out. Get every old peon, by the way. Dude, what happened over here? Hi. Hi. What a disaster. Oh yeah, forgot I've got to move that. Hi. Alright, next. Well, they definitely have more money at their disposal now, but... Oh, hi. I'm not seeing... I am seeing faster expansions and otherwise faster stuff in general, but I'm not really seeing, like, the real kick into gear that I was expecting. I mean, I guess they didn't die this time, right? So, an improvement there. Epic double forge. Oh, they mopped that up. That's good. Aldera's helping them by annihilating every renegade in existence. Definitely should scale well into the later stages of the game, I think. Holy fucking Ahmed. Run. Get him, Ahmed. Yeah, you better run from Ahmed, you motherfucker. Dude, look at this guy go. Dude, he's dead set on killing these guys. Even this Dragoon is... This Dragoon doesn't dare attack Ahmed, dude. Don't even test Ahmed. Oh, bye. I'll let you off with a warning. That's epic. And they're keeping their money lower than they were before, too, which is good, I guess. Alright. Holy fuck. A Zergling 1v1'd him. Must have been weak. Destroyed. Hey, look, there's more. Oh. Oh. Hi. Ah. Destroyed. Hi, guys. This has been a Tismic game, that's for sure. Oh, shit. Dude, they're actually setting up their forward production. Shocking. Maybe somebody wants to finish this command center. Ridiculous. Oh yeah, I don't think I ever moved this to another location that maybe doesn't impact the gas mining. Renegades are still in here somehow. Maybe not for long. 3! Holy infantry. And a single tank. Check him out. Aldaris is getting kissed. The whole army chasing after a single probe. Why has this happened? Bye. Yeah, it looks like our boys are operational now. Things are going well. Hi. Although now that I think about it, I actually haven't even added the latest days. So maybe the latest days would also benefit or hurt us. I don't actually know in this context. How do I still have it open on that? Okay. I'm thinking we probably want to pop in here. I might actually be missing some config options. Oh, I guess not. What's up, DSK? Yeah, we're doing... this is Stormborne, a Nemesis map. It's in the description of this stream, if you want to check it out. Just gonna make sure that no obvious issues arise. It depends on what you mean by difficult, of course, but right now it's I'm just trying to update the map in general. I don't know why it's displaying a no cullen config. That's pretty funny. I assume there's some unit ID that is a normally not that. What I'll do is I'll compile it as not debug. Oh. But yeah, it's in its current state that's released, it's not very challenging. I'm trying to fix that by well, we call it demongolizing the AI. There's some things that they do that are not great, and they are unintended. So hopefully we can fix that. Getting some epic lag while we compile, naturally. But at least you got your AI allies, so you can always rely on them. That's one of the reasons I'm updating it lately is I'm trying to make it so that the AI is more consistent, both the enemies and the allies, because at least if they always give you a challenge in some way, it'll facilitate your ability to understand, like, oh, you know, they are always this difficult to play against, or always this competent, right? Always this skilled. So, in theory, anyway. I haven't really overhauled the attack system yet. Eventually we will. Yeah, that's why I'm compiling it as release, so the debug messages don't show up. Aha! Remember this? It's a good bug. I think the biggest issue is definitely the fact that the AI attack waves are hit or miss, I guess. They're small, and on top of being rather small, they also don't really... The ones... They actually have fairly large attack waves, and then they like take half of them back home to defend or something, which is pretty frustrating. Well, I'm just waiting for this version of the plugin to compile. But I suppose while I wait, I can start working on the other AIs in the same way that I did the first 3. So. No, they're not flying. They just have it's a placeholder graphic for a fast-moving unit, a fast-moving Zergling morph. What am I looking for here? Oh yeah, that. Well, we had a system in place before, but apparently it was just a workaround, and then something broke it after the fact. That's what the under attack 0 command is supposed to do in the AI script. It's supposed to tell AI, spend money while you're under attack, as opposed to only reserving money for defenders. So this will allow Terran to repair structures, for example, while they're under attack, which is obviously desirable, as well as allowing... the AI to like mass up attack units or to start working on upgrades or literally anything other than defense, like expanding, building structures. Otherwise, their resources get locked up and they're only used for defense requests, which is not what you want if you can help it. So... this system used to work fine. At some point last year it broke. I don't really know what did it, but something did it. Oh, wait. It looks like I didn't even bother with the guards for this guy either. That's funny. Trying to remember. I guess I probably fixed that in the priorities for structures. I probably got a working version of that back in development of Vzergo 1. So I'm going to investigate that script in a moment. Alright, it's a little bit much for me. Non-stop. This might put me to sleep, though. There's a balance to strike. Oops. Good one. They don't start out with a queen's nest, do they? No. Okay. Just getting confused by that. Yeah, so at this point... Oh, wait. There's one more thing I have to fix. Ah, you're familiar with it then. Yeah, so this is more like, obviously it's on 161 as opposed to remastered. Has a bunch more tech tree changes. Ones that are better thought out, I think. So... For sure, it's a big undertaking for me to make this stuff, but... I'm interested in seeing how much closer I can get to the ideal that I was aiming for initially, now that I've updated my sort of... what's the term there? I updated my process. Refined my skills a bit. But you'll probably... I think most people noticed a pretty big step up in terms of quality. But the difficulty is missing right now, and I'm hoping to patch that in like I was talking about earlier. So let me do XP worker. There we go. Like, one thing I didn't like about Nemesis Omega was the amount of cheats that I had to give the AI, basically. Not just in terms of, like, extra money or extra starting units, but I also had to give them a lot of stuff for, like I had to make it so that the units that they had, like the infested Templar and infested Zealots and stuff, they were broken stat-wise. Like, they were really strong. And they obviously also had, like, Tarrasques and Devouring Ones and other hero units. And there wasn't really interesting gameplay around them. Especially at least the new Protoss units and stuff, they cast different spells. Like, the infested Zealot casted Hallucination, which was weird. And the infested Templar casted Mind Control, also weird, but better than them just being, like, units that have a lot of health. You know what I mean? There was quite a bit of pre-play stuff, but it's more than that, though. It's like they just had broken units that they were using, and that is a form of cheating, right? Even though it doesn't feel as easily condemnable as you might think. So that was definitely a problem for me, like, looking back at it. So one of the things that I wanted to do better this time around was obviously take a different sort of whack at it, if that makes any sense. Get rid of all this dead code here. Untackled priorities. Yeah, of course. I don't think the Dominion was quote-unquote really bad. I think you had people that never really adapted to how they were meant to use the Minotaur. The salvo tank, missile tank thing. That's how it seemed to me anyway. Like, the thing is, like, they had, every race got a couple of new units, or every faction got a couple of new units, like the Dreadnought for the UED and stuff. But the Minotaur was one of those units that, like, people just expected it to work exactly like siege tanks, and when it didn't, and when they were punished, or when they didn't get the most value out of using them, they just assumed that the unit was terrible. Now, I'm sure I could have improved the design of the unit, but it was funny to me that they instantly wrote that one off, but none of the other units that they had. Like, they didn't write off all the UED units, they didn't write off the Protoss units, the changes to them, and they certainly didn't write off the Zerg units. So it's just weird to me that people just, it wasn't just you either, Connor. It was like pretty much everybody who played that just, like, immediately was turned off by that change. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they all like siege tanks a lot, for all I know, but. Yeah, I actually really like how the infested Protoss units went through, to be honest. I'm a fan of those. Alright, let me open up, oh wait, I already have this open in another folder. Alright, seriously. Take a look at Zaz. Oh! Take a look at Cordovan. Wow. I definitely had some problems with the AI here, I think. Alright. Well, we'll try our own system and see what happens. 4 layers. XD. No. Okay, so that's that one. All I did with you, yeah, I remember. And then the Tarrasques annihilated you because you were doing like 1 damage with every marine attack, and they had 600 health or something. Yeah, broken Protoss. Pretty much. Well, there will be some infested Protoss in the new one whenever I end up remaking it, but they won't be. They'll be more like they will be powerful units, I guess, but the way that they are produced will be more fair. So it won't be like they just get to build them willy-nilly as much. So at least there's that. Why did I want them to build 12 overlords? What the fuck? Maybe not have that there. Just an idea. You can tell I had some problems when I set the fucking hive priority to 150. That's me in AI script form, in purest form. That's just me going, why the fuck aren't you building your hive? Like being really angry. So that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. I got so confused working with this. Yeah, the vulture was called the Scythe, I think. That sounds about right anyway. I mean, for all I know, this is just going to fuck him up entirely, but I'm hoping that, along with every other change I've made so far, this will be a benefit. 120 for the Queen's Nest. A similar state to be in. Why aren't you building this? You fuck. Cool. I'd say mission accomplished there. See what happens. Now, at some point, what I wanted to do, actually, was take all of the... There's like a bunch of structures that get placed over here, and what I was going to do is actually separate that out into its own town, which might improve the management of things, but we'll see how this change plays out, and if this seems to fix a lot of problems, then we'll just use that instead. Yes, AI Zerg love Spawn Broodling. So I made some changes to Spawn Broodlings. The spell now just deals damage and spawns 2 Broodlings instead of always killing the unit. But if they do kill the unit, like if I think it's like 100 damage or something, or 80, it's a decent amount of damage, but it won't kill every unit. Like it's not going to one-shot siege tanks or you know, most other units, like most other mech units and stuff. It won't just kill them instantly. But if it does kill the unit, then it spawns 4 Broodlings instead of 2, so you get more Broodlings. And the another change is that when Ensnare is researched, Queens can't cast Ensnare anymore, but Broodlings cast it on death. So every time you kill a Broodling that has Ensnare researched, that Broodling, it creates the Ensnare effect as if it was cast on its corpse. So whenever it dies, it ensnares all nearby units, which is obviously very good for crowd control, for slowing units down and all that stuff. So it ends up being pretty interesting. There's a bunch of there's some small other changes. I think the Broodling also applies Ensnare when it attacks a unit if it has Ensnare researched. So even if you just let it get close enough to attack you, you'll start getting slowed. And Infested Terrans also ensnare units that are near them when they die and or when they explode. So... yeah, exactly, Connor. What did you think of my map design video, by the way? You said you watched it earlier. Well, I wouldn't really call it experimental, UD. I wouldn't want them to be classified as like high-risk units either. I do kind of consider them to be an extension of the tech tree. It's just that the opportunity for you to claim them is limited and also situational based on your matchup. So you can infest Protoss or Terran structures to get access to infested Protoss or Terran units, but the ability for you to do that is limited based on the map and based on the matchup, and similar things, basically. So yeah, that's what I would say as far as that is concerned. Now there was also, for Tassadar, there's 2 issues that I noticed. There we go. So this cybernetics core should be moved here. And this photon cannon should be moved. Oh. What was it before? Yeah. Oops. Okay, so I had to fix those because those are blocking resources. Close that shit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have to call default min 1 at some point as well. Yeah, I don't want to imagine that. What's wrong with you? Yeah, well, it is high risk in the way that you're describing it in that context, but what I was arguing about before was just the fact that for me, it didn't seem like there was... I don't know, I get the wrong message, I think, because experimental usually means, like, gimmick unit, you know? Like in Supreme Commander and all those games. What's up, Eltrix? How are you? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. On a lore level, I understand what you're saying. Beauty. It has been a while indeed. Well, I kind of find the idea of the Infested Terran as a boring unit in general. I guess a sapper-type unit that just detonates like the Goblin Sappers do, I can see where it's useful, but it always seems like a gimmick unit to me. And maybe a part of that is the fact that it can't be built normally, and as a result has retarded damage values because it's so rare. But there's always a like I'm sure there's like a way to work them in a more intelligent manner. I think I've already done that to some degree with the changes in Hydra, which reduce its damage, give it a weapon bonus for upgrades, and obviously the ensnare changes and also the death march passive add more gameplay to the unit in general, and separate it a little bit from just a generic sapper type unit anyway. I think reinforces the thematic of it being this like mindless, once sentient entity. But even without that, I think it's worth investigating the unit concept. It's just like doesn't necessarily need to be super complex either because it's such a basic idea. So part of me wants to make it as simple as possible, and another part of me recognizes that the Zerg don't really need that in their arsenal per se, because like obviously they don't need it just based on the fact that they don't it's not like they're losing games in melee, for example, because they don't have infested Terrans, you know what I mean? So as far as what's been transpiring in the new year so far, well, I can't believe we're already in February, for one. Time really has flown. Although February has slowed down, it feels like, which is good. I've made this realization anyway, and I think it's a helpful realization that if a month goes completely by you and you don't even remember like what it was really, the new year started a month ago. When that happens, it means you're probably not being present in the moment because you just don't have any recollection. And so that's what I felt like. I definitely felt like I was not present for most of the year so far, like most of this past month. But February has been a different story so far. Like I have distinct memories of all of February and a little bit of the late January. And I also feel like in the same time I'm saying, wait, what? January's already over? If somebody said February didn't, like it's only 5 days into February, I'd be like, really? It feels like it was longer than that. Like I feel like I've been February for like a week and a half now. So I think it's better when it's the latter, because that means that you're like, you don't want to go too far down that road, but like obviously there's a balance. But it's better if it's the latter because you're being present in the moment at that point and you're experiencing life. And I don't know. I don't want it to just go by in a blur. Like I want to actually experience shit. You know what I mean? So it's nice when that happens, as opposed to the alternative. Dog. Aha. I'm gonna grab this. So many lines of code. One thing I am happy about is that as I'm going through this, I'm actually shrinking the scripts compared to the originals. I'm a fan of that. That's great, as far as I'm concerned. More of that, please. Oh, that's good. I gotta start doing that. I don't know. I mean, I live right next to a gym, which sounds like I have no excuse. Almost like I don't have any excuse. But, like you were saying earlier, I'm also kind of strapped for time. Oh. I forgot how, like, by comparison to the current stuff, this is some primitive shit. Which I suppose tells you all you need to know. Might help there. What's been keeping you? Just, you said you were busy, I figured, with school and stuff. I don't even remember the priorities I used for this. 72 for pylon. Okay. It's coming back to me now. I think I know why that happened. In Hydra? I don't think so. Just about done with this one, too. Well, at least over halfway. Excuse me. Funny, we've been live for 3 hours already. Does not feel like it's been that long. I mean, it feels like it's been long, I guess, but whenever I feel like it's been a while, I think, it's probably not been that long. So actually, it's exactly as long as it has been. It feels like, but still. I was not expecting that. Just gonna go erase a bunch of lines of code and come back to do the priorities. Alright, work my way back up now. Was it a 67 in the expansions? No, 68, okay. Super easy to remember. What's up, Veek? Welcome. How you doing? Good to know. Did I already do priorities in the main? Yeah. Nice. What do you mean AI overkills? And yes, this is indeed Stormborne's AI. Did I already do it for this one? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so all I have to do now is, well, besides obviously do the attacks for everybody, I do have to update the Renegades. So they are up next. Oh, I know why. So I still have Firedraft open. Too long and complicated. In a sane world, yes, but we do not live in a sane world. I'm modding Brood War, dude. Like I said before, I'm not, like, I'm sure there's ways that I could trim out certain complexity and change certain things, particularly with Renegades, which are currently almost 3,000 lines long, although this is, again, before I've gone through and updated them. So, yeah, obviously not great. But, at the same time, they have a funny knack for, how shall we say, not performing unless you do a bunch of overcomplicated bullshit. It's sort of like triggers. Like, in order to do basic shit like HP detection, you need EUDs and a bunch of other advanced methods. It's an overkill from a programming standpoint, but that's the only way you can do it. It's basically the same principle at play here with AI. So while I understand what you're saying, I understand your criticism. Without, like, besides, like, obviously improving the flow control or the level of, like maybe there is some needless complexity in here. I basically, other than tweaking certain things and optimizing certain things to be as useful as possible or as consistent as possible, what I basically need to do is go through and actually add functionality to the engine using commands or fixing certain behaviors and instituting new algorithms and all this other very complicated stuff that's way above my pay grade right now. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck doing this shit. So that's my short answer anyway. And with that... Oh, well, at least for Renegades, it's mostly base layouts. Like proxies and base layouts. That's why that's so long. Otherwise, I don't know where I can point to in general, but it's... yeah. I mean, it's a disaster, all right. The fuck? What did I just do? Oh, boy. Okay. I will be right back. Let me put some more music on. And yeah, BRB. Hi, I'm back. I see you got plug-ined. Pretty epic. What is this? Razorback screenshots. You. I like how most of our chat is just Razorback screenshots and voice acting. What a fucking disaster. Alright, so let's spectate the AI in their current state anyway, because I am about to eat some food. So. That must mean we get to do this. Lazily watch. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Speaking of lazily watching. I'm not quite sure what the Overmind is doing with its units, but you do you, man. What has happened here? Thanks. Oh, I still get no culling config even on the release build. That's epic. Yeah, we haven't broken the streak yet. Pranked. Hey, iQuare, can you fix this? Thanks. That's my favorite. If I could just do that for every problem, and it worked, just tell iQuare to fix stuff. But it seems to be happening very consistently since the A's change. That's a regression. Hi. Mwah. But yeah, we haven't broken the streak that we started in early November, I think. So that was cool. I would like to see this AI actually build something, though. I think they're still using their starting forces or something. In fact, I don't see any structures having been built from any of them. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I also don't know why they keep sending units over there. Oh, here we go. No culling config. I'll have to disable that. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. On what fucking planet does this work better? than this. Hello? Yeah, I mean, you could do it. People have, for some reason, people ask me if it's okay if they stream. Like, I think that's happened more than once. On more than one occasion, people have been like, is it okay if I stream modding? As if I have a fucking monopoly on it or something. I actually want more people to do it. Assuming their internet can make it happen. Spin, by the way. You know, assuming they can accomplish it. It seems like it would be a great way for them to, for everybody to just produce content more frequently. A big zergling force will exterminate every protest they meet. I'd clap, but I can't yet. Yeah, that's fine. You're an active community member. It's not like you're some... Like, I did get a little irked when, who was it? There was, Excalibur, I think, was just on my server, and, like... Yeah, I think he actually joined the server, this is before it was gatekept. He joined the server explicitly so that he could, spam his Twitch stream or something. He only did it, like, once. But it was, like, weird that, like, oh yeah, I'll join Protogo server and spam that. It's like, okay, if you say so, man. Bullied. Something I am noticing is that all the AIs seem to be doing well, relatively speaking, except for the Renegades. The Renegades are just dying, so that's no good, man. Destroyed. I love that even with the Guardian, even with the Darkstorm, the Zealot still runs away. It's pretty funny. Dude, he just got Burrow pranked. Raynor here. But yeah, that's just because Excalibur doesn't really, like, until recently when he said he would make some maps. He didn't really do anything in the server, right? Like, he joined expressly so that he could like, pass out his link. But you're in the server all the time, working on stuff. I see no reason to prohibit such activity. You just posted in Mark Time Strategy. New boards for technical questions. So any maps you want to post, you post them in there. Any streams you're doing, post an announcement there. No. Mark Time Strategy. New boards for if you have a problem, like a mod problem or something, a question. I think the Renegades are actually dead. They have one hatchery left, by my count. It's over for them. Now, CAG, however, seems to have completely shut down for the most part, so I am going to have to adjust his stuff. I don't know what the fuck is happening over here. These units don't even have connections somehow. I guess they're military units. I don't know what's going on there. That's stupid. Anyway, things seem to be shaping up. Silliness is happening. Zerg here. Raynor's going to kill the Overmind just like he killed Amon. Yeah, Mark Time Strategy is for, like, pretty much anything. It's for any RTS context or conversations. So that includes custom content. I thought about making a specific channel for custom content, but until we have... I don't know how the fuck that one happened. Until we have enough people who are simultaneously trying to have conversations about the games and the custom content, I don't see a reason to diversify, per se. So yeah, I mean, we're back to the Zerg being dumbasses, but our allies are working pretty well. I haven't really exhaustively taken a look at Aldaris yet, but he seems to be doing okay. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of how I imagined they would behave. Is there any way you can look into fixing the Vorveling bug? It happens very often with the current A's build, that they just they freeze on the last frame of their birth morph, their birth animation, and then they have to be killed. Like they don't do anything else, so I don't know what's going on with that. But if you can fix that, that would be nice. Bullied. Person with the biggest army so far is probably Raynor. He's the largest armies I've seen. It's pretty cool. I obviously don't know why the Zerg are being cucks, but it seems like this. Oh no, he's assigned to this town. He just doesn't have any money. Look at his fucking need requests. Why does he have so many? Like, what fucking justification is there? What a lunatic. Why does he need 12,000 minerals? Psychosis. So I guess this is probably why I made sure to wait until they expanded first. Unit mover is still not working properly. Starcaller ability. Planet Cracker? I don't know. Why would it? What the fuck? Yeah, there's like hundreds of behaviors that are changed when you change that flag. Oh yeah, I can do that, Connor. That's what I did before. But you only really have to do that if the AI is being retarded for a different reason. I've already experimented with using it. It's not very great. It's also like there's just a lot of stuff that's not ideal. Mostly about the way that it manages defense. Maybe if you were starting from scratch and you were like creating a brand new system for implementing different things. Like, for example, if you were deciding, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out most of what I'm going to obviously keep my understanding of certain mechanics or whatever, but I'm going to throw out the ideas of certain things like priorities and stuff like that. And I'm just going to start writing a script with Melee AI in mind and see how it goes. Like, yeah, it's just that you can't really translate most of, I would say at least like a good chunk of lessons you learn from working on campaign AI can't be translated to Melee AI in terms of how the engine functions, like how the AI actually functions. So in that sense, I would say there's, you basically need to take a bunch of, like, have a bunch of time set aside for experimenting with that sort of thing if you're really going to make it worthwhile, you know? So. Destroyed. Yes, we do need a new RTS. But we don't have one. Alright, so I'm pretty okay. Like, I'm... It's alright. You know, the allied work is alright, you know? But we definitely need to spend some time unfucking the Zerg, and Aldera seemed pretty weak as well, so I'm going to spend some time investigating them. I also probably want to stabilize the expansion timings across some of the Zerg AI at the very least. And of course I still have to unfuck the Renegades in the same way that I've unfucked all the others right now. How am I setting my priorities in AI scripts? So it's like production structures are priority 76 in the main. Production structures are priority 76. In tech is 75. Defenses range from 72 to 74. Pylons are 72. Shield batteries are 70. I think 74. Or 73 or something. Maybe they're also 72. That's basically the idea anyway. It's not necessarily perfect, but I don't really know. Like, that's just the latest functional stuff that I've used. But I didn't have that. That was not functional for Zerg. I had a different set of priorities for Zerg in VZerg 01, but I don't really remember how consistent that was. And I don't really want to do more shots in the dark if I don't have to. But as you can see, there's like a fair bit of pre-placed shit for the Overmind, and he takes forever to actually build anything. So I don't really know what's up with that, but I don't think it would be easy, but eventually we'll go down that hole, rabbit hole. I don't have anything about pathfinding systems. As far as design goes, it would mostly just be experimentation. No, we were talking about pathfinding design for our own new RTS, not for this. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the... there's not really a consistent rule that I've been able to find that works for both small-scale stuff in terms of town threads and large-scale stuff in terms of town threads. So I'm still trying to figure that one out, but... In any case... I am going to close the stream and take a break. And come back and probably just go back to working on my full toilet submission, which I started on working on this morning before my stream. I'd like to finish the first AI there. But we made some pretty good progress today, and some pretty promising results, at least for the allies. Have to investigate Aldaris, obviously, and probably have to experiment a lot with the Zerg. So until tomorrow, I might be back later on today with another one, and maybe I'll work on my full toilet submission for that stream or something. But at least for right now, I can guarantee one tomorrow, as usual. What are you sending me? Yeah, Clarions would definitely fit him. Warp Relays probably as well. He's a robotics gateway type AI, so... No, I already tried that. It didn't help. I had the same exact thing. Well, not the same exact thing, but a pretty similar system. Yeah, good. I don't think anybody other than you would be able to complete a submission. I mean, DF says that he also uses a system similar to that, but I used that in this map, and it did not result in... Like, it was maybe a small performance improvement, but it also came at the cost of, like, consistent rebuilding, which I don't want. So I just need to fix the problem at a more foundational level than that. I think Zerg, in general, are just fucked over. They've got a lot of stuff associated with their AI management that does not work properly at all. So there has to be some investigation into that. The unit mover has to be fixed so that drones don't constantly try to stack into each other and then not be able to build over borrowed units or anything like that. And there's like a whole bunch of shit that needs to be resolved with that. And even if I do end up fixing all of the economy issues, which is unlikely anyway, I can't fix under attack. The under attack has to get fixed by itself. Like, rather, I guess Iquire or Knave has to go in and investigate that and figure out what's wrong with under attack. Under attack is a huge problem right now. The fact that they just take half of their army and bring it back to their base is a really, really bad problem that we had fixed for a while, and for some reason it came back. So we've got to figure that out, and we've got to hopefully get it done relatively soon, because it's very destructive to AI. It's destructive to literally every script written in the last year, and until it gets fixed, it's going to affect every single script. So that's a big problem. But yeah, as far as Zerg are concerned, I don't really know what to do with them. I will continue to experiment, and that'll probably be tomorrow. So DF is using, as in multi-threading, yes. I don't know if you compared the two, which one is more multi-threaded, mine or his, but you'd have to ask him for examples or something. You have to realize literally everybody besides Necron uses the multi-threaded system. So... That was weird. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. Like I said, I'll probably be back later on. So, give me a couple hours. Bye.